Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference reaction for the West Ham game tomorrow. The must-win game. The next two games are both must-win as well. Lots to discuss. David De Gea obviously featuring straight away. Lots of people trying to get into Solskjaer in the press conference about David De Gea, as you would expect. I think they're good questions. I would expect that sort of thing. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying this is not going to turn into a David De Gea press conference. David De Gea is mentally strong enough to know what we expect of him, and we stick together as a team. Exactly the sort of message that should be coming out the day before a massive game of football for Manchester United. Whether David De Gea starts or whether David De Gea doesn't start, he's a Manchester United player. And I personally, and I think Solskjaer as well, is picking up on this. This mob mentality within our fan base about David De Gea is nothing short of a disgrace. It does us no favours as a football club to be doing this a day before a match, basically baying for David De Gea's blood that he's not in the team when we've got a must-win game to get tomorrow. But Romero's going to come in and be Mr. Tickle and save everything. Yeah, the same Romero that should have saved Cantwell's shot a couple of weeks ago. I don't get it. I don't get it. I know we're vulnerable. I get we're vulnerable. We're not playing very well around the whole pitch. And David De Gea is not playing well either. But we need to be strong. We need to be united. We've got a massive, massive, massive game tomorrow. And whatever your personal feelings are about whatever player, it needs to shut down because the players are under pressure enough. We need to get behind this team. We are 2 games away from getting back into the Champions League. The FA Cup was very disappointing. Ollie said it himself. We lost. It's disappointing. The FA Cup dream is over, but it's not the end of the world. The FA Cup is not significant for what we're trying to achieve this season. Let other clubs obsess about the FA Cup. Manchester United, we're trying to get in the Champions League. We won the FA Cup under Van Gaal and we sacked him the next day. That was 3 or 4 years ago. That tells you the significance of the FA Cup in what Manchester United are trying to build now. We are not trying to win FA Cups. It would have been nice, but we're trying to get in the Champions League. That's what we're trying to do. We must come together on this. And also, you know what? If my role is to distribute and see both sides, I don't mind doing that. What is the fixation on David De Gea? He's made a lot of mistakes. Our captain, the team, the player that gets the team going, that leads the team when the chips are down, our captain has made 5 significant mistakes in the last 4 weeks. He's been nutmegged in the box. He's not attacked headers. He's not attacked the front post. And he's guiding people down the middle when he should be pushing them down the right-hand side. So look, there is a fair distribution within this team of blame, but we are a football club that needs to win our next 2 games, and we should get behind this football club, whatever the team is tomorrow, whether David De Gea starts or not, whether Harry Maguire starts, which we know he will do, whether he should or not, whether Brandon Williams starts, whether Van Bissaka starts, whether Fred starts. We've got to get behind this team because they're under enough pressure, and I just don't think at this magnificently huge point of the season it serves any purpose to be baying in a mob mentality for a player of this football club to be sacked. And as Paul Scholes said, De Gea will be back. This is a player that stopped us finishing mid-table for 4 years. He will be back. And everybody who's having a go at him is going to be back on that bandwagon. Don't do what I did with Matic. Don't do it. Don't write a player off because you just do not know. He's only 29. I'm very glad you said Maguire needs to lead or be stripped. No reaction, pushing the team. He can carry like a captain should, says Guido Martine. And also, can't wait for De Gea to prove all the haters wrong. Not at his best at the moment, but as they say, form is temporary and class is permanent, says Dylan from Court. If he gets dropped tomorrow, I won't moan about it. I understand if he gets dropped tomorrow. What I don't like is our football club and our football fans doing what they're doing, which is just, it's a modern fan phenomenon. It is. It really is a modern fan phenomenon to basically expect a player to be like your FIFA player every bloody day. People make mistakes. Van Dijk made one last week. Ederson's made loads of mistakes. Alisson made a mistake last week. Yes, De Gea's making a lot of mistakes, but ultimately, we need to win these next couple of games. I think Man United need 4 signings this summer in order to boost our team. Sancho, Grealish, Umtiti and a commanding centre-half are ideal, says FIFA Crazy. I mean, that's a good point. There's lots to talk about this morning, but that is a good point. What about Fred? What about McTominay? What about Dan James? What about Brandon Williams? What about these players that aren't even starting games, but when we give them an opportunity, they're not performing either. There's a lot of reasons United are not doing what they should be doing at the moment. Joshua Bowwater, last night was the first time I didn't make it through a live show. The defence of Maguire infuriated me. He's captain, so he's the most accountable player. He should elevate standards he sets. Look, same thing. Harry Maguire will play tomorrow and he'll have the captain's armband. I'm not against Harry Maguire playing. I think he's a good player that's been overplayed, that's not doing very, very well at the moment and must improve. There's a lot of players in that team that have got to improve. But we're not dropping Harry Maguire. We're not dropping Brandon Williams if Luke Shaw's fit. We're not dropping Fred and McTominay if Matic and Pogba aren't fit. They are going to play and they need our backing. They've got to do better. Oh, yeah, they've got to do better. But we've got to back them. We're 2 games away. If we're not in the Champions League in a week's time, you know, open the floodgates in relation to why we're not there. I get that. But we've got 2 cup finals. And as a fan base, what do you want? Are you one of those fans who wants to be proved right? Oh, I told you Ali wasn't good enough. I told you this player wasn't good enough. Or do you want to be sat here next week going, we're in the Champions League? We've achieved something that we didn't think we would achieve at the start of the season with the squad that Ollie had presented in front of him. And that's the opportunity. And Ollie was asked a very good question about the Champions League. He was asked a good question about the Champions League by Andy Mitten in relation to, is the Champions League, what's its importance in relation to the club's progression, the attraction of players? And I thought Ollie was going to answer it wrong, but he answered it very, very well. Because what he said is, it is an attraction. Of course it is. But we are Manchester United and we should be attraction enough without the Champions League. But what he said is, and also I think it's very obvious that we're on a journey and players will want to be part of that journey. And I started to think, well, no, you're wrong, Ollie, because if we don't get the Champions League, the journey that you're on is failed. Because you can't get into basically top 4, which we are really technically, just goal difference keeping us out, and then blow it and then say, but still come here because we're a club that's on a journey. The journey's over. If we don't get this Champions League, what is next season? I don't know what next. That's the importance and gravity of the next 2 games. If we don't get Champions League football through this or the Europa League, and we're in the winning the Europa League in August, and we're back in the Europa League next year, what's the progression? Yeah, we've got Bruno and we've got Pogba and we've got Rashford and we've got Martial, but we're doing the same season as last year. We've got to get Champions League football. That's the importance of it. It demonstrates the journey, and it also provides the platform for anybody who wants to come here. And also, it's about retaining players. I think one of the most important things that people don't realise is that, yeah, look, getting Champions League football makes Manchester United far more attractive to players to come to this club, but also it keeps players at the club. You know, I'm not saying Martial or Rashford or anyone like that wants to go, but there's certainly plenty of reason to be happy if we've got the Champions League. And also, somebody like Paul Pogba, very, very big. So the importance of it is very important. And Ollie said, look, it's in our hands and we've got to make sure that we are there next week, which is exactly what you want to hear from your manager. No negativity, strong messages. The Rock says, is there any chance Pereira and Lingard and Dalot could get a game, or should we sell them both along with Jones and Rojo? Well, watch out for Flex and KG at 1 o'clock because they're going to be talking about a lot of these sort of things. So make sure you watch the 1 o'clock show because I think there's a wider conversation to have about some of these players, that what is their future at Manchester United, and I think it'll be a good show. Jan Vertonghen becomes a free agent this summer. We could get him for free with our tight budget, says Wayne Rooney. No, not for me, Wayne Rooney. Injury update though. Eric Bailly is going through the protocol for head injuries and probably won't be available for the next 2 games, which, well, it doesn't stop us playing a back 5 because if Luke Shaw's back, we'll still play a back 5 against Leicester because he can play left centre back. But Eric Bailly probably won't be available for the next 2 games. He said there was no injury concerns other than what we had for the FA Cup game, so he didn't specifically answer Luke Shaw. And again, I feel this is the mainstream media's absolute misunderstanding of the importance of Luke Shaw to this team. And I'd say the same if Wan-Bissaka was injured. The fullbacks of Manchester United are so important, especially in a home game, because they will basically play on the edge of the opposition's box and they'll provide a pass for our wingers, for our midfielders. So Luke Shaw's very important for this game. I don't know whether he's going to be fit. We didn't really get any clarity on it because nobody went deep enough to say, is Luke Shaw going to be fit? Because they speak about Eric Bailly, who, with all due respect, had a bad injury to his head on Sunday, but has got very little impact or importance to our team compared to somebody like Luke Shaw. So I'm hoping he's going to be back, but I don't know. I can't give a definitive answer on that at the moment. There was also talk about Manchester United still being unbeaten. We're on a great run. I think that's out the window. I mean, personally, I would say this, and I know it's only adding pressure to the team and to us as fans, but This unbeaten run, this great run, it means nothing if we don't get Champions League football. And I actually think it doesn't mean anything now. I think United need to move away from the security blanket of the unbeaten run, and I think Solskjaer will take them away from that. These are cup finals. It's not about an unbeaten run. When you get to a cup final, you're on an unbeaten run. You've gone from the third round to the FA Cup final. What's that? 5 games. It's a 5-game unbeaten run, but it's a final against somebody else who's 5 games unbeaten. It's a cup final. You can't go into that final and say, lads, we're on a 5-game unbeaten run. We can't lose. You've got to go and win the cup final. And that's what United have got to do against West Ham and Leicester. So this unbeaten run that we're on in the league, and we're now calling it a league unbeaten run because we've been beaten in the cup, which dilutes it a bit for me anyway. So I'm not interested in the unbeaten run. We didn't play well against Crystal Palace. We didn't play well against Southampton. And we didn't play well against Chelsea. That's the run we're on. We've not played well for our last 3 games. So unbeaten runs, not playing well for 3 games, throw them in the bin. Throw them in the bin. Start again against West Ham, cup final, Leicester, cup final. Just treat them as 2 individual games and get everybody back to doing what they need to do. That's the most important thing for me. And also, Ollie said, as he said, FA Cup loss is disappointing. It's not the end of the world. It's the end of the FA Cup dream. We need to move on. So look, it was quite a short press conference from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which allows us to talk about some other stuff. But I liked his backing of David De Gea. I think that's very important from a manager. I think De Gea deserves that. Let me wander into some of the press news. The article in the Times today, which is obviously an English, very old institution, mainstream media outlet, the Times, has a bit of credibility because of that. I don't know in relation to football stuff how great they are. For me, I'd put them middle of the road. But they're saying that there are concerns in the Manchester United camp that amongst the players about David De Gea, that he's not doing great things in training. Welcomes to Simpson Camonere, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Thanks for joining. I don't think this sort of stuff helps. I know we quite like it when we hear that, with Mourinho and Moyes, the players were turning against them because the fans were turning against them. We do hear that. But I don't like to hear that Manchester United players are leaking out that they're not happy with De Gea. Again, we're talking about it, aren't we? Because that's what we do on a news show. And I see people quote tweeting it saying, oh yeah, but fans don't know what they're on about when the players don't like De Gea. And I'm like, well, whether that's true, which I doubt, it still doesn't. How does that help Manchester United Football Club that rumours are coming out of players not happy with De Gea's performances? There's clearly an issue with David De Gea. There is an issue with David De Gea. But he's our issue. He's Manchester United's issue. This is not Marouane Fellaini, who I could never stand in a Manchester United shirt. He was never a United player for me, and I was glad he went. This is David De Gea, 4 times Player of the Year in the last 7 years. 29 years of age. One of the world's best goalkeepers when he's performing well. He's not performing well. But it's our David De Gea, and it's our football club, and we're Manchester United. And I don't like him being ridiculed by our fans or any other fans because it's our player. And I think certain players in times of need and deserve backing, and David De Gea deserves that backing. That doesn't mean he shouldn't be dropped tomorrow. I'm just saying I don't like the personal tirade, the mob mentality on a goalkeeper that if he suddenly starts playing well and starts playing as well as he can do again, may remember this period of time and go, you know what? I thought I was liked by Manchester United fans and half of them turned their back on me. So, I know it's hard to do in the modern day. But, certain players within this football club deserve a little bit more leeway. And I think David De Gea does. And it disappoints me. And I think it disappoints Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. De Gea is world class. Some of his best saves should be celebrated like goals. We don't crucify our front 3 when they miss the odd sitter, says the watcher beneath. No, I mean, I do agree that there is a conversation about dropping De Gea. I do agree with that. But what I'm saying is some of the abuse and tirade has gone way too far. It's my brother Rowan's birthday today, and I would love to send him a clip of you wishing him a happy birthday. Keep up the good work, says Ross S. Happy birthday to Rowan. Happy birthday to Rowan. Happy birthday, Rowan. And I'm sure the live chats will say that as well. And Joshua Bowater says, we need to see a reaction after that performance. There was no effort. Going back to what Sir Matt Busby said, fans work hard to watch United. Least the players can do is work hard while we watch. Yeah, and I agree with that. And I said that last night, didn't I, as well, before I talk about a couple of other things. the reality is we're so blinkered and flip-floppy as fans, some of us, that, and I don't excuse myself out of that. I don't, I think, football fans can be quite reactionary. But what I would say is that what irritates me the most, and I'll use Harry Maguire as an example, not because I want to attack Harry Maguire. I like Harry Maguire and he will play tomorrow and he is our captain and I think he's a good player who's playing badly at the moment. But what annoys me is I think we're better than this as a fan base to just go all after De Gea, which is what I'm seeing with some fans. I don't care who was in goal on Sunday. I don't care whether we kept a clean sheet. We weren't going to score at the other end. All right, we scored a penalty, and that sounds a little bit hypocritical. But if you watch that game, Chelsea were always going to win that game. The penalty is lazy because they're 3-0 up. That game was always going to be Chelsea's because they dominated us from back to front, tactically. The width, the midfield, up front, defensively, they dominated Manchester United. And defensively, we made errors as a back five and a goalkeeper made errors as well, but we were never going to win that game. But everyone wants to say, well, you can't win if your goalkeeper makes those mistakes. You can't win if you go into a game with that sort of formation, that sort of attitude, and that sort of performance level. And, David De Gea kept a clean sheet against Crystal Palace. We still played crap. We won the game, but we played crap. Crystal Palace are crap. They lost again last night to Wolves. And, that worries me a little bit as well because the way Palace played against Wolves, they looked rubbish, but we made them look quite good. David De Gea should get the stick from the players. They should have the winner's mentality and push one another, but all this should remain within the club, says Benson Thomas. Well, exactly. If the players are not happy with David De Gea, are players happy with Harry Maguire? Are they happy with Fred? Are they happy with Dan James? Are they happy with Brandon Williams? Are they happy with Scott McTominay? Are they happy with the performance recently of Wan-Bissaka? Are they happy with Lindelof? We can all throw stones, but if you throw stones in a glass house, there should be plenty of broken glass. That's what I mean. How can that be coming out of the Times that some players are not happy with David De Gea? Well, there's a lot more players I wouldn't be happy with either. So, siege mentality required. Also, there is a story that De Gea maybe dropped for Romero tomorrow in the Times. Times very much going in on David De Gea. Romero didn't look happy on the bench against Chelsea. Why didn't he play? Says Emmanuel. Well, maybe he should have played. He has been the cup goalkeeper. Could we not compare David De Gea to Mata, player of the year at Chelsea, and now he's not as good? Don't think if De Gea plays like that, we don't win anything, says Ricky Keeley. Yeah, but David De Gea is 29, Ricky. 29-year-old goalkeeper is the equivalent of a 24-year-old player. Goalkeepers aren't in their prime till they're early to mid-30s. So David De Gea is not even in his prime years yet. So, yeah. Also, let's have a look at... well done to Paul. Thank you very much. The story coming out in relation to... Well, it was in the Manchester Evening News, actually, about Bellingham and Haaland, both players that Manchester United wanted. Both have gone to Dortmund, and they're saying that, Dortmund is clearly a stepping stone. Those players won't stay at Dortmund, and they're probably going to Dortmund because the league isn't as competitive. They're going to get first-team football, and it's a stepping stone to their career. I just want to say a big, fat, what a load of crap. I don't agree. I don't know what you lot think. I know it's fashionable to buy a Dortmund shirt and say, I support Dortmund in the Bundesliga. And I know it's fashionable to say that Dortmund have got the best youth development in Europe. I actually don't agree. I do not agree with this at all. I really don't. I don't really watch Bundesliga, but I watched Bundesliga this summer because it was the first league back. What a disappointment that league is. It's boring. The quality is terrible. I wouldn't want to go and play in the Bundesliga. Well, I would, because I'd like to play football. I'll go and play in the bloody the Belarusian league. I would. I'm too old now, but of course I would. But the quality of the Bundesliga is terrible. So if you're a young player from wherever and you're being offered Premier League or Serie A or La Liga, and you get offered Borussia Dortmund, why are you going to Borussia Dortmund? Oh, they've got a great history of taking young players and then selling them on. That's what it's all about, the money. I get frustrated by this bloody romantic view of football. Oh, he's gone to Dortmund because it's a place where he'll get first team football and then he can go to another club. He's gone for the bloody money. Let's be honest. Dortmund treat their players like cattle. They basically get them in young and then they sell them off to the highest bidder. That's what it's all about. And the player doesn't go there to just, I really want to wear the yellow of Dortmund and develop my game. I don't believe it's about the money. The rumour is, and I don't know whether this is true, and hopefully we're going to find out today because I'm speaking to somebody today, which you should enjoy. What sort of wage was Bellingham given? Because there was a rumour it was 60k. Well, United wouldn't give a 17-year-old 60k a week. They wouldn't even give, Angel Gomez was 30k a week. So Bellingham was never going to get 60k a week at United. Erling Haaland was rumoured to have a release clause that United didn't want as well. So, there's two bits of evidence there, circumstantial or not, that it's about the money. But the best bit about this, the very best bit about this that really irritates me, and it's not even United-centric really. Dortmund are the best developers of young talents, right? Okay, so what is Manchester United then? Are we not a club that's world-renowned for developing youth? Are we not a football club that since the 1930s has had a youth development product in our matchday squad every single game since the 1930s? Youth players that have come through our youth development. Whatever you want to say about Dortmund, a lot of the young players that they get are bought from other clubs. We develop our own talent. We do buy, but Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, obviously the people like Paul Scholes, etc., class of 92, George Best, some of the Busby Babes. These are players that come through our youth development setup. And when I look at the Premier League this year, how can anybody say that going to Dortmund is better for your development when you've got Xhaka at Arsenal, you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold who's come through at Liverpool, you've got United with Greenwood and Williams has been given a chance, Rashford in recent years as well, you've got Chelsea doing it with their young players as well. I'm very proud of the Premier League this year. I think one of the big things about the Premier League this year is that a lot of clubs are using young players from their youth setup. If you're good enough, you play. Mason Greenwood is 17. Well, he's not 17 anymore, but he was 17 at the start of the season. He's played games for Manchester United. If you're good enough, you play. So all this crap about, they don't go to United or they don't go to Arsenal or they don't go to Liverpool, they go to Dortmund because it's better for their development. Have you ever thought that it's about the money and it's about the fact that they obviously don't think they're good enough to get in our first team? Because if you're good enough, you walk straight into our first team. You do. You bloody well do. Because we've got Mason Greenwood playing on the right wing. He's not even a right winger because he's good enough. That midfield, as good as Matic, Pogba and Bruno are, you're telling me if there's a decent centre defensive midfielder, he's not going to get 30 games a season because Matic can't play every week. There are opportunities. Left back, right back, centre back. There are opportunities in that team at Manchester United if you are good enough. This bloody media story that Dortmund are the best at developing young players. Bollocks. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I think if you're good enough, you're good enough. And that's the way it is. And Manchester United have got a rich tapestry, proven, of developing young players. So I don't believe that we have been snubbed by Bellingham or any other player because we don't develop young players. I think we've been snubbed because we don't negotiate very well. We didn't offer the money that Dortmund did. And maybe they just don't think that the vision is that good. And I think that's more important. I'm not slating Bellingham and I'm not slating Dortmund. I think Bellingham would have been a fantastic signing and I really did want him. And I think Dortmund are very good at acquiring young players. But the third excuse that, he's going to get more game time at Dortmund, bollocks. I don't agree. I do not agree with that. If you're good enough, you will get a chance at United. The problem is we showed him around Carrington and he didn't sign. He met Sir Alex Ferguson, Eric Cantona, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He came Ryan Carrington and he chose Dortmund. Why did he choose Dortmund? Oh, the path to the first team is better. Have you seen their midfielders? Emre Can, Witsel, Dawood. They've got loads of midfielders. So the path to the first team is probably better at United. We haven't got a rich amount of midfielders at all. I think he's got a better financial package, which I don't know why we wouldn't do that, but that's down to us. And maybe he fancies the vision more of Dortmund than us. I don't know. But I think we need to own up to this. Garner is underrated, so there's that just whizzed by, sorry. And not to forget the number of United Academy graduates, other Championship and Premier League clubs having decent careers. Manchester United have got a great success of developing young players, and I will defend it on that. When we signed 3 young players yesterday, by the way, 3 young players. A lad from Tromsø, I can't remember his name, I think he's 15. a lad from Barcelona who's 16, and a lad from Real Madrid who's 17. So, you know, we're good at it ourselves. Thanks for the super chat, Ethan Hunt. And why so many words banned for super chats? Wanted to say something about the FA Cup, but the word was banned, says Maria Doyle. Some words are banned because they can be turned into other words. So, and FA Cup is not banned because, as many people are putting there, it says FA Cup. So there you go. More game time? No. If you're good enough, you get game time, says El Poet. Exactly. We were probably offering 40 to him, but he got greedy and went to Germany for more money, says Devils 58. Yeah. Look, I don't know. You know, I think we're all skirting around the issue of Bellingham, but I'm actually talking on a general sense here, that this romantic view that players go to Germany or they go somewhere else because they're going to get more game time and it's a better path. I'm not having it. There is a path to Manchester United's first team. I think the mainstream media and I think some of our fans and I think football observers in general dismiss what's happening in the Premier League this season. A lot of young players are getting game time. And Mason Greenwood was 17 at the start of this season and he got game time. So if you're good enough, you will get game time at Manchester United. Brandon Williams is 19. He's been playing at left back. So you will get game time at Manchester United if you are good enough. So this nonsense that the path to the first team is better at another club is a joke. Look at Arsenal. They're playing Xhaka and other clubs are doing it as well. The romantic side of this football industry needs to be shut down at times. A lot of it is to do with money. There are agents. It's not just some lad saying, oh, I want to go to Dortmund. There are agents, there are negotiations. If you don't think that money is a massive part of any deal these days, you do not understand football. Look at the FA Cup. Look at the Champions League. The FA Cup is a piece of silverware. Fourth place isn't. Fourth place is massively more important than the FA Cup because of the money, because of the status. Money in football, whether you think it's an evil or a good thing, money in football drives everything. And to say that a player wants to go to another club because of the path to the first team, do you think he'll do it for a £5 a week? No. He will go somewhere that is dictated to by the better financial package and then the vision and then the first team football. It's all part of the package, but a big chunk of it is money. And Manchester United, rightly or wrongly, I bet we didn't offer the same money as Dortmund. I guarantee we didn't. But we'll never know. We'll never know. Anyway, a very, very good press conference from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's time to be United, by the way. It is. I know people are angry. I know people are frustrated, but it is time to be United. We've got a very, very big game tomorrow, and we've got a very big game on Sunday. And personal agendas against players or whatever team he picks tomorrow, we've got to back it, and we've got to hope it's good enough. If it isn't, that's the time when you go, well, it got it wrong. But I think the past is in the past. I think unbeaten runs are in the past. I think bad performances have to be in the past. Whatever team he goes with, whatever goalkeeper, whatever centre-back, whatever full-back, whatever midfield, whatever strike force, we've got to back that team because we need it to deliver. We can't afford to start the game going, he shouldn't have done this, he shouldn't have done that. We need focus across the squad, across the coaching staff, across the fan base. We've got to get this win. We're back at 1 o'clock today. We've got the KG and Flex show. Make sure you tune in for that. And also, hopefully, I've got a very interesting video coming up for you later on this evening, which should answer a lot of questions around a lot of things. Very exciting things. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Smash a like. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. And is it true that we bought Alvaro Fernandez, says Brian Matunza? I think he is the 17-year-old from Real Madrid. So, yeah, that's looking highly likely. Speak to you in a bit.